Hey everyone, on today's video I am going to be doing my first ever DIY European mount. So I really happy with how this turned out and learned some things along the way and maybe some things that I do differently next time. But it was a really fun process and I've never done this myself. Usually I just take them to the taxidermist, but I wanted to save the 150 bucks that it cost and figured I'm going to give this a go. It didn't look too difficult. I was just watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube of guys doing this, so I figured I'd just document my journey doing this and see how it went. If I messed it up, I messed it up, but it turned out really nice, and a few minor cosmetic defects that I probably screwed something up along the way, but it was a really fun process to do. And you know, this is a buck I shot this year in Missouri and thought it was worth the time trying to do this myself and learn how it's done, and then potentially do this for the future, which I will be doing more of these. As I shoot deer, I'll be doing more European mounts myself. It was a really fun process, and I encourage anyone to do this themselves and at least give it a try. It's worth it. I mean, it was a ton of fun, and I think you'll enjoy doing it yourself as well. So thanks for watching the video this week. If you could, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop some comments along the way. If you got any tips or tricks on doing European mounts yourself, this was my first one, so I'd appreciate any of your advice. So thanks everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. First thing that I did here was I took the eyes out, I took the bottom jaw off, just trimmed up as much meat and everything that I could, hopefully to make the cooking process a little bit better. So I don't have video of that, but it was really simple. I mean, you just take the hide off and then take that jaw off and just start hacking away at the meat. And then I already went ahead and popped the ears out as much as I could, and I'll get the rest after I start boiling, or after we go through the first boiling session. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tape up the antlers. I'm gonna put saran wrap around it and then electrical tape in a couple spots to hold it tight, and we'll get to cooking. But here, I'll show you everything that I use for this, or at least what I've seen in videos. So here's everything that I have. Saran wrap for around the antlers, tape will hold the saran wrap on, and then I'm going to cook. The first cook is going to be about an hour in a bucket with half of this baking soda, some Dawn dish soap. I'm going to get it out, I'll pressure wash it. We got the pressure washer over here. And then we'll just scrape it off using screwdriver and knife to get everything off. We'll repeat that process, and then once it's done, I'll hit it with some of this Salon 40. I guess, I don't know, it looked pretty simple when I was watching other people do it, so I figured I'll give it a try, and hell, it might save me a trip to the taxidermist and can just do this myself. All right, just gonna take a good wrap of saran wrap here, and what I saw, or what I think is going to be best, is I'm going to wrap this right around the pedicle here, hopefully to protect the antlers a little bit. Then kind of just give her a wrap around. That looks not too bad. Just do a couple wraps around, I think should be all right. Once I have that all wrapped up, I'm gonna grab this here electrical tape, give it a few wraps around, and by no means am I an expert at this because this is my first time trying this. I just thought it would be something fun to try and do. You know, I process all my own deer anyways, so this is kind of the next step. I thought I like doing these Euro mounts from the taxidermist, but I just figured why not try it for myself. It seems easy enough to do and gives you something to do on the weekend, and as you're doing it, you get to relive your hunt. So that's kind of what this looks like here, just wrapped right around the pedicle, and just tape it in a few spots and do the same thing on the next one. give this a quick look here, see how it does. Yeah. Looks pretty good. I probably even could take a little bit less out of there. This was a recommendation of one of my friends, was just to add in half a thing of baking soda for each cook. So give it a go. I figure first try will take any advice I can get. Alright, this water is just getting to simmer. It's actually about to overflow here, so I'm going to see if I can drop this head in without everything boiling over. And then I'm going to cut the heat down a little bit. There we go. Guess I'm going to let that go for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and see how she does. About halfway through the boiling. It's looking good. Looking really good. The neighbors are definitely going to hate the smell of this thing. It's still pretty early on, but it's starting to stink a little bit. So, all right, been about hour and 15, hour and 20. I let it go a little bit longer. I was chatting with my dad on the phone, but I'm going to cut the gas here and see what this looks like. I pulled it out a little bit earlier and it was looking pretty good, but damn, that's looking pretty darn good. Alright, got the pressure washer all set up. Gonna throw this head down here. And I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna run it on like a low pressure so I don't just blow the skull apart. But I'm gonna start cleaning this up and see how it goes. Alright, got it cleaned up pretty good. There's still some meat hanging on there, which is fine. I'm going to take a screwdriver and a knife, start plucking away at this. I got all that junk up in the cavity there. I'm going to pull the cartilage out. Take this cartilage out, get you a pair of needle nose pliers, pull that right out. It should come out fairly simple, but that's everything I've read is either this or like a pair of forceps or something, and should just be able to grab that there, pull that out just like that. Looks pretty good. And then we got all these chunks of meat and everything down here. Just a screwdriver or knife will help pull all that out. You want to get as much of this out so it doesn't stink like hell. And I can already see it's starting to split a little bit down here, which is fine. I'll be able to take care of that, no problem. Little Elmer's glue and rubber bands will clear that up, but I'm gonna get to work in here on this. Here's where I'm pulling the ear bones out. Right there, I kind of already popped them, but I just popped it with a screwdriver, and I think this should just come out just like that. That's beautiful. Pull a little bit more of that out. Just kind of keep working your way around, getting all this out of there. Just like that. I don't think you actually need to pull those ear bones out, but the other ones I got, they're already out, so I'm gonna just keep working away here at it. Go over here to this other ear bone. Let's see if I can do this again. Pop that out just like that. Oh, that one came out way easier. It's not too bad right now. Nasal cavity needs some work. I don't know how much of that I can pull out of there. Looks like there's more cartilage back up in there, but I'm hit this with the pressure washer again and go from there. So here's the head after the first boil, pressure wash, and clean up. Not bad, a little bit of meat left on there. Getting that sinus cavity all cleared up. There's a lot of gunk in there still, but should be able to get that after this next go around. Around the antlers look okay. There's the nose. Overall looks pretty good, I think, for a first boil. Take your rest of your baking soda and dump her on in there. And we're going to hit it with the dish soap again. Got my little helpers out here. Get a fruit snack, baby.
Hot.
Yeah, the fire's hot.
Don't touch it.
Does the deer look good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Does that look okay?
I'm on the tree. My tree.
Deer's looking pretty? Are you going to be a big help? Are you going to keep an eye on the dog? Get your kids and family involved in this is all I can say. It's pretty nice just even sitting out here for a minute when you got a head in the pot, you know. Sit outside, enjoy the nice weather, let your kids get involved and look at the deer. Get your kids involved young, let them have fun. Show them why you love this so much. All right, it's been all of an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna pull this head out here. Looking really good. You can see there's some stuff up in the sinus cavity that I'll blow out with the pressure washer. Down through there, I think everything's looking good. All the meat is off, which is fantastic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that saran wrap off here in just a second and get to pressure washing. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, as far as I can tell, there's a couple dark spots, but I don't know if that's just part of it or what, but you can see here everything's all cleaned up. Back's looking real nice. No more brains or anything left in there. Sinus cavity's pretty well cleared. I don't know how much of this you can see, but everything looks real nice. There's no more meat at all left on here. I mean, it just cleaned it all right up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this off. I'm going to dry this off and put some peroxide on it and see how it does. From everything I've read on this, just kind of go heavy on the peroxide and just make sure you kind of coat everything. It's kind of hard with the clear stuff to see if you've really got everything good, but there is Salon 40 cream, which is a cream that you can just see if it's actually caked on there really well. So I may try that if I do another one of these by myself. I want to see how this one turns out first, but it's not too bad so far. Flip it over, and we'll just do the same thing on the top here. Not sure if this is the best way to do it, but I got all that peroxide on there, wrapped it up, and got it wrapped in saran wrap. I'm gonna let it sit out here for 3 hours or so. And all right, it's been about, I don't know, 5 hours. since I put that peroxide on here, and I can already see through the saran wrap. It's not whitening up like crazy. I guess that's probably because I didn't put it out in the sun at all. So I think what my plan is going to be is I'm going to take that saran wrap off. I'm going to wash the peroxide off of it, and then I'm going to soak it in just a bucket with warm water and Dawn dish soap overnight. And then tomorrow we'll reapply the peroxide and let it sit out in the sun all day, and might have to do that a time or two just to get it to work right, but I think it'll turn out pretty good. So all learning experience here, first time doing this, and see how it goes. Head's all dried off, or at least pretty good. So we're gonna go with the peroxide again. Again, same thing. This Salon Care 40. I'm gonna do it a little bit different this time. What I'm gonna do is dump a whole bunch of this in this bucket. Head in this bucket, hopefully it fits. Not quite. Good enough, we'll make do with what we got. And then just start coating it again. I'm trying to get up in the sinus cavity really good, and then obviously the eye sockets and the nose and everything best I can here. And if I got to do this 2 or 3 times, so be it. But I think if it sits out in the sun all day, it should be looking pretty good. You can see it's getting bleached out pretty good in some spots. It's not crisp white all the way through yet, but it's getting there. So I'm gonna hit it with another shot of peroxide, no saran wrap this time, and just let it sit out in the sun and see how it goes from there. All right, I'm not quite sure where I left this video off at, but it's been a few days here on the Euro mount, my first time doing it. It's looking really good. Only thing I don't like, and I don't know why it's doing this, I've got like one black spot here, and it's not even like really dark, it's just kind of faded, but I've done the peroxide multiple times and I can't seem to quite get it out, but you know, it's good enough. The thing doesn't stink. It's nice bright white everywhere else. It's got a little bit of splotchiness up here as well, but it's not too bad. So I think the last step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fix this gap here, and then these bones over here a little bit loose. I'm just going to use some Elmer's school glue for that and get it all fixed up, but it's looking really well. So all right, got the glue on. I'm going to let this sit just for a minute or two, just kind of where it firms up a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe off this excess here that I got around the nose. I'll show you that. And I just kind of put all those bones, I'm just kind of holding them finger tight, but I'm going to do that and then wipe it off here after a minute, just once it starts to set a little bit, and should be ready for the rubber band. But I'm just doing this because it got a little bit loose. I think I got the temperature in the pot a little bit too hot there as I was going, but it's not too bad. I could live with it, but I'm just trying to firm it up a little bit. So there's all the glue again. Got the rubber band on. And then I'm just going to let that sit for a few hours and should be ready to rock and roll and have everything all done. All right, here's the final product. I just took the rubber band off and everything held together really nicely. So pretty happy with how it turned out overall. I mean, it's a pretty good job, I think, for my first try at this, but there's just a few minor things. I've got, like I showed earlier, this one black spot up here that's really not too dark or noticeable, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's grease coming out of the head or I just didn't put enough peroxide on it to bleach it out or what, but it doesn't really bother me too much. It's is what it is. And then it's a little bit splotchy up here and probably just didn't apply peroxide evenly enough. But just kind of recap here a little bit, maybe some things that I would have done differently or that I will do differently on my next go around is after I pressure wash it and boil it and everything, get everything all cleaned out, I'd probably let this head soak in a bucket of water with Dawn dish soap for maybe 3 days or so, 4 days, just to try to draw out more grease. And I'm assuming that would help with yellowing over time. I'm assuming this is probably going to yellow a little bit, but it is what it is for right now. So I think that's probably the biggest one. And then maybe as far as whitening the skull, instead of using the clear Salon 40, I'd probably use the cream with like a whitening agent. I think it's called like Bright White or something like powder like that you can use. It's more of like it'll turn that cream into like a paste, and then you just let that dry on here, and that'll probably give a little bit more of a pop to it. But I think it turned out really well, and I'm happy with how it looks. So going forward, I'll be doing these myself, and honestly, I would encourage anyone else just to give this a try. It's really not that time consuming, doesn't cost a lot of money to do this yourself, and it just kind of rounds out the process of the whole hunt, doing the mount yourself, and looks really cool. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments about something that maybe you would do differently, or maybe some comments even for me on what I can do with my next one, I'd really appreciate that. I'd love to learn what I can do differently to make this look better, or maybe if I mess something up along the way, I'd love to know that. So drop a comment below and let me know what you think. I really appreciate everyone watching this video, and hopefully this encourages you to do your own European mount for the first time if you haven't done one before. So thanks for watching.